Pravin Gordhan has apologised to South Africans for the inconvenience caused by the current load-shedding incidents and says it will take some time to solve the crisis. He says more technicians have also been assigned to Mozambique to manage the cut in power supply to South Africa. Gordhan has acknowledged that Eskom has not communicated sufficiently with the public. He and Eskom Board chairperson Jabu Mabuza were addressing the media in Rosebank, north of Johannesburg. Our economics editor, Thandeka Gqubule Mbeki, was at the briefing. Good afternoon, Thandeka. Just please give us the latest.
Yes, we are coming to you live from Rosebank in Johannesburg, where a national briefing on the situation and the crisis at Eskom. As you know, we have entered stage 4 load shedding, and the crisis has been described as a crisis of multiple dimensions. At once, it is a political crisis that comes at a time when elections are about to take place. And further, it is a fiscal crisis because the debt crisis of Eskom has a bearing on the fiscal position of the country and the sovereign. And also, Eskom is undergoing a debt crisis, a financial crisis, a technical and operational crisis. Joining us now is the chairman of Eskom, Mr. Jabu Mabuza, to tell us more about what he said to the public today. Good afternoon, sir. What would you say is the nature of the crisis facing the country and Eskom at this time?
Look, Thandeka, the problems that we're having really have reached crisis proportions. And in trying to deal with them, you have covered it in your intro, that they are structural, they are operational, and they are financial. We had come here to say to the people of South Africa, we are seized with those problems. We understand them. We understand the inconvenience and the pain that it's causing them. We'd come here to say from an operational point, given the reality of our situation, that from our installed base of 48,000 megawatts, we only have available 28,000 megawatts. The other 10,000 or so, they are so erratic that we do need time with the equipment to do the maintenance work that has not been done over the last 5 years, given the aging of our plant, which is averaging 38 years. We do understand that we need time, but not only time, because speed is of essence now, where we need to respond in an emergency way to address these. We will be coming back in the next 10 days to explain what is it that we are going to do and how long will it take, so that South Africans can plan their lives accordingly, knowing what the schedule looks like.
Yes, you've made an undertaking to communicate better with South Africans, and that may involve telling them how you're going to schedule the outages and how you're going to schedule load shedding so that it has the least impact on businesses and on hospitals and on clinics and private citizens. How are you going to communicate that exactly?
And indeed, firstly, we had to acknowledge that our communication could have been better. We are committing ourselves from today. You realize the kind of level and detail we went in here in the spirit of being fully transparent, that we are intending to stay on that course to make sure that we provide accurate, timeous and reliable information about how we are going forward, but also having agreed with South Africans that this is the problem statement and here's a detailed plan of addressing it.
And for those people at home who don't fully understand what exactly stage 4 means, it's the final stage, and after stage 4 is grid collapse. Can you just explain what stage 4 is and what systemic collapse is and what the implications of that could be for the country and for Eskom?
Well, these stages are based on the number of gaps that you have. If you've got 1,000 megawatts gap, stage 1, 2 recover, 2 is stage 2, 3, the 4,000 is stage 4. We do hope that we will demonstrate to South Africans that we're far from total collapse of the system. We're very far from that. It is these things that we need to do now that we believe with time and with the speed that we're going to be replenishing and fixing the plant, we can return the plant back to production. We are very far from a situation where we'll have a total collapse of the grid. The system operator did make the explanation that his job, Load shedding is the last of things we do to try and protect the grid by rotating the available energy to avoid that if the demand continues to be that much out of equilibrium, it's going to collapse the system.
And sir, it seems like the cyclone created the perfect storm. It couldn't have come at a worse time for Eskom. Can you tell us, normally how much do we order from Mozambique and from Cahora Bassa, and what the impact of the cyclone has been on our security of supply in terms of energy in this country?
Thandeka, in the scheme of what we need, the 1,100 megawatts that we lost due to Cahora Bassa, seen in isolation, is relatively small. But at the time when we had about 20,000 outages that are either scheduled, forced, partial losses, or unplanned faults, and coal reserves, we find ourselves that 1,100 megawatts was going to make a difference. So it's regrettable that such a national disaster has hit Mozambique, but it has affected us because it hit the pylons that transmit the cables here.
And finally, sir, you have said that part of our problem is historical. We failed to opportunely capitalize Eskom at a certain time, and then we made decisions that were poor about the maintenance of our infrastructure, and then on top of that, some in our society decided to loot this asset. How are we going to get back to a situation where we have secure supply in this country?
Well, those that have looted, they will have to stop tweeting and go and address the various law enforcement agencies on this.
What do you mean stop tweeting?
The answers on what is gone wrong needs to be addressed either in the civil or in the criminal processes. We from our side have done what we had to do. We've passed that on to the state enforcement agencies. What we need to do, whatever they have cost, we unfortunately have the task now to fix that. And in fixing that, we would need to find the time to deal with those that are operational, find the money to pay for the maintenance that has not been done, indeed find the money to resource Eskom to embark on the programs that would ensure that there is energy supply going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That was the chairman of Eskom, assuring the nation that communication will be forthcoming and transparent, and that there are a number of solutions on the table for the debt crisis, for the operational crisis, and for the financial crisis. From me in Rosebank, it's back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Thandeka, for that. The first